G'day and welcome back to Nat's Knackered Yard, and welcome to Nat's Knackered Yard for my new subscribers, of which there are a few. I'm up to sort of 220-ish now, which is awesome. Thanks very much for joining, and I hope you're enjoying the back catalogue, I suppose. Don't really want to highlight anybody in particular, or any people in particular, but one of the new subscribers is Road Rodent Restored. Johnny, welcome mate. Feels a bit strange because I've been watching your channel for a while that you're now watching mine. Feels very weird. Right, we're on the XS650, and by way of a bit of catch up, a bit of research throughout the week, obviously my manuals arrived. When I looked at the carbs when it first arrived, and earlier in the videos actually, I checked it out and found online 135 to be the stock jetting, which this had in it. I was concerned over what sort of carbs they were because it didn't look like anything I could find, and certainly at the time it looked like they were a cut and shake from various others. But what I have found is they are actually stock. They are BS34 CV constant flow Mikuni carbs, which were the original stock. So I'm checking the jetting in the book. It had 130s as standard. Now bearing in mind this came with 135s, and my thought process on the 135s thinking, well, if they're stock, it's got pods, not an airbox, it's got a straight through exhaust, it needs to go up probably 2-ish, so 137-ish. I had 140s, put 140s in. I gave it a run up during the week and it was properly backfiring really badly on anything over or any throttle at all. Obviously the book's arrived, so I had a bit of a dig through, looked through the book, and 130 is stock, not 135s. So it had already been upjetted by 5, and I upjetted it by another 5. So it was really no wonder it was causing it hassles. So what? I ordered 132.5s because that's what I could get in the proper jetting. So they're wide base 132.5s, which I've chucked in. I then chucked the carb back on this morning and it was pissing out the left float, or out the left carb. I think the float was just caught, so quick strip, put it back in and back on. So what, I've got it on a secondary tank, on my homemade secondary tank with a spare petcock that I've got. It has been pointed out that it looks like somewhere between a Maritalade and a bong, depending on what age you are, I suppose, watching it. Yeah, so the aim today is to check out those jets to see if it's okay on it, and balance the carbs, because I now have a carb balancer, my own one, rather than keep borrowing Charlie's, which obviously with all the COVID restrictions at the moment is limited. So I want to balance the carbs, and I also want to do the air fuel settings. On the carb balancing, Mike, otherwise known as Jan, because he uses his wife's YouTube login, said, oh, you don't need a balancer, just use a needle. And I thought, okay, I'll give it a go. So I have bench balanced it with a needle. So effectively you open the butterflies up, put in a needle to the master, and then you've got a slave, a needle like a dressmaking needle, I suppose, or a pin, I suppose, probably a better way of putting it, and try and get a, well, I did it, the way I did it was then try and get a bite between that's even on both sides. So it has been bench done. What I haven't done is try to start. So let's give that a go. Now bear in mind, carbs have been on and off, so it ain't going to go first time, and it's chopping cold. Let's try a little bit of choke. You need to secure that because that's going to jump. It should be okay, so here we go. Actually, can you still see me? Oh, I'm slipped out. Right, it took a fair amount of messing around, but she's up and running. I could fast forward through this, but there's a lot of background. Right, I want to do a carb balance, so I'm going to let that warm up for a little while because it's still coughing and spluttering and farting. Do you know what, sod it, I'm just going to persevere. I've had a look at my replacement trunk. I had a look at my replacement coil, and I'm going to have to do some wiry jiggery pokery with it if I am going to go down that route. So rather than dismantle and mess around, it might just be that I'm so far out on the sink that it's just getting too much fuel on that side. So what I'm going to do is, so what I've done by my brand new carb sink, carb balancer, one hose onto one side, one hose onto the other side. Now that one's normally blanked off, and that's the vacuum for the tank, which is obviously not in use at the moment. I'm just going to see how I get on, see what it looks like. I'm intrigued. Now the balancing bolt is right down the middle there, and it's a long flathead, so if I get prepped before I go, it's going to be really bad stage management. I do apologise. My best angle of attack. That's not too bad. Like that, all like that. No, I'll do it from the other side. So that might be better for you actually. Better for the camera. Yeah. Right, let's see what this looks like. These are going to bounce around like loons, so a little bit of restriction to try and get them so they don't bounce too much, and then see how we get on. Oh, and I put the sparks back. How they were. bungee cords gone? No idea. Well, let's over-engineer a ratchet strap. Can't hang that off the handlebars, they shake too much. Does make me wonder all my bungee cords are gone. Probably find that there's one of my children bungeed to the back garden somewhere. Right. Not sure you can quite see that. Let me drop that bit for you. How's that? Perfect. Right, get the spare hoses out of the way. How can you see that? No, pretty good. Right, let's try that again, see if it bounces quite so much. sync is far off. Not entirely sure why it keeps stopping though. Maybe the rev's too low. Let me have a look. I have a dead bike. That is properly strange. That looks like a fuse just gone. Nope. 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 Yeah. Rattled out. Right, I'm going to move on to the air fuel. That's eased it up a lot. That really has. Ow. Stop touching the engine, you fucking moron. That. Ouch. Yeah, that's better. If I play with the air fuel screws, maybe that'll clear up some more of that popcorn machine effect that I've been getting today and annoying the neighbours, scaring the hell out of a few passers by. See. Right. Said degree or something. Ow. Poor old ears. Let's just block those up before I forget. Right, so what do I think? I think the carbs were that far off. Where they've been messed around with by me and others. The bike's just complaining. Rightfully so, because they were way off. So I think my bench technique needs work, shall we say. Oh. dip some more fuel. Right. So, what am I going to do in the air fuels? I am going to not touch the throttle, let it go, check what the revs are, keep undoing, backing off till the revs rise, and then pretty much stop, and then I'm good. 1000, let's go half up. Half out. Half out. Sort of raised a bit, that's 2 out, 2.5 out. Two and a half out. See what the score is with it. That was another big backfire. That's about a quarter. That's about a quarter. Still raising. Another quarter, and another quarter. Side of 3 out now. Another quarter. Another quarter. Back a tiny bit, I think that's about as good as I'm going to get. Back it off a tiny bit. There we go. Right. Balance as good as I can get, air fuel as good as I can get. No, I'm hoping that it's complaining so much because it doesn't like being on a reserve tank and it likes being vacuum fed. So at the moment it's just getting gushed fuel through it, although obviously the float valves are holding off. I wonder if one of those float valves, the actual butterflies, don't look great on this. I mean, worst case scenario, worst case scenario, I have found out that GPZ 500 carbs fit this. Bit of a bitch to balance, to tune, but can give it a go. Right, I'm going to chuck on the tank and get it working off a vacuum and see if that makes it behave a little bit better. Be right back. Right, that's the tank back on. So what have I done? Rejetted, balanced, air fuel, and it's spitting like a bastard on idle. So I don't think it's the main jets, I think it's the idle jets, but let's see. know, sounds great, runs. I'm probably pushing my luck to go on a bit of a cruise up down the hill, because this has taken me considerably longer than I originally anticipated. What do you reckon, people? Go to the 135s, leave it at the 132.5s. I'm going to have to go back and look at old videos to see what the pilot jets were, but I'm sure they're stock. Yeah, I think that's probably it. I think it's pilot jets. I don't know. What do you reckon, people? Drop a comment down the bottom. Get hold of me on Facebook. Yeah, we'll see. That'll do me for the day. I'm going to hack away at this video to try and get something that's usable. But it's a fab bike. It's just confusing the arse out of me at the moment. While we're going, I did on Facebook, actually, same Facebook, sparked a bit of a memory. I did get hold of a cap seat, because I have been considering capping this. It's only cheap, I'm not too bothered. If it's not going to get used on this project, it'll get used on another. Now, I really like that. I like that a lot, and I would instantly go for it. And frankly, if I was in the US, I definitely would. Why am I not going to do it? It was interesting putting it on Facebook, because the 20-somethings went, yeah, go for it, man, and all of the older gentlemen, like myself, went straight practicalities and went, that's enough of a significant change that you're not going to get the historic road tax and all those benefits that go with it, which has convinced me I'm not going to do it. I'd love to. I think the bike deserves a bit of an update, frankly, but one of the main points about it is it's approaching 40 years old, and for those in the UK, that means tax-free, MOT-free, under historic, and you can insure it under historic insurance, which cuts massive off the price. It also kicks into, particularly in sort of the London burbs, kicks into less free territory, which, you know, at £12 a day ish, can't be sniffed at. So it's probably, you know, its main selling point is that it's a retro cruiser that costs nothing to run. So I'm not going to do it on this one. I'll keep the seat. I'll use it on something else, I'm sure. Right, that'll do me for the day. What do you reckon, people, on the jetting? I think it's idle jets, but I'm probably talking myself into that. Cool, I'll catch you later on. Cheers all, ta-da. Aha, you thought I'd finished, didn't you? So did I. In a bonus post, just taking the front brake caliper off because I wanted to check what pads it takes to order some new ones, and that's the next job. Bit of internet shopping. I've let it run on vacuum and on tank, and it's fine, sickeningly. So I'll see if it settles. Maybe it's just an old boy and it needs a bit of settling after you've pissed around with it. Because that's the best it's ever run, by a long way. It's a beast, and it is so receptive now. No hint of a backfire. Maybe it just needed to settle. I don't know, what do you think, fellas? Cheers all, ta-da.